So this is the all new updated version of the ThruNite Neutron 2C. They've had this light out for a while now, a few years in fact, although they've updated at least once, if not twice. It's updated now with an XPL V6 LED, which gives you the 1100 lumens over, I believe, the previous 1040 lumens. Another major update to this light is the fact that it is USB rechargeable. So you have the little micro USB port in there, which prevents dirt and dust from getting in the port, and you can recharge the battery. So that is a great feature, but what is also a great feature with this light is that it's compatible with several different battery types. It's compatible with your 18650s, your 16340s, or even the smaller CR123s. So it makes it highly versatile, but it also turns this into a charger for those batteries. So if you carry maybe a battery bank in your car or a survival kit, get home bag for example, and most of us have a micro USB cable, you can use this as your charger for those different batteries. So right off the bat you have an 18650 in here, so you can leave that in there, plug in your USB cable, and you're charging that battery. You can put in a 16340, or you can even take off this center tube here and it becomes a shorter light for which you can run your 16340s or your CR123s, and then you can also charge them that way as well. So I find that is a great feature for sure. Not only that, but you can take off the second tube and turn it into a smaller flashlight. You can see it's much smaller, taking out that center tube. The pocket clip, I love. It stays on the back of the flashlight, which allows for deep pocket carry. And no matter if you have it in this configuration or the longer configuration, that pocket clip is going to stay on the back and maintain a deep pocket carry. When putting the light back together, you have O-rings at each connection point, so that's going to keep it watertight. It is IPX8 waterproof. So we can take a look at that LED, the XPL V6 LED, boosting up to a 1100 lumens on turbo. You've got a smooth reflector in there, a smooth bezel here, not a strike bezel, and then you have the anti-roll bezel here that prevents it from rolling around. Of course, the pocket clip's also going to prevent it from rolling. It is a removable pocket clip. And then you've got some nice knurling on here, whether you use it in the shorter configuration or the longer configuration. Overall, it's a pretty small light for being USB rechargeable, especially if you do knock that extra tube out of there. Speaking of being USB rechargeable, we all tested the ThruNite TC12 V2, which didn't hold up very well in the drop test, and then I reviewed a TN12 after that, and I wasn't able to make that one fail. Now I've been throwing this around on the ground. I've been throwing it up higher than they suggest on the website. They suggest that it's 1 meter drop proof, but I've been turning it on, dropping it on my carpet, dropping it on the grass. I've even dropped it on the rocks a few times, and it has survived all those tests. So whatever they may have done wrong with the TC12 V2, this one seems to be a-okay. You do have the standard mode button on the side. When you turn the light on, you do get an indication there, which is going to let you know when it's time to recharge, as well as when you are recharging the light. It'll give you an indication as well. You'll notice there's no tail clicky on this light. Again, it's all operated by the mode button. But one thing that is unique about this light is that it not only has a firefly, a turbo, and a strobe, but it has infinite brightness, which allows you to really dial in the brightness setting that you'd like. So you have instant access to your firefly, which is 0.5 lumens, just by holding down the button there. I'm not sure it's even going to show up on my hand there. You have instant access to turbo by double clicking the light, and then if you hold down the light, you can see that it has infinite brightness. So it's going to go all the way down to its low, which is 12 lumens, and it'll flash 3 times when it's down to its low, and then it's going to go all the way back up to 650 lumens, and it'll flash twice when it gets there. Then again, you can double click to get to turbo, or you can really fast double click, and that's going to give you your strobe. Simple press on and off, so very easy to use and very nice, being that you have instant access to your lowest, your brightest, and then of course you can dial in the setting there with that infinite brightness. Let's take a look at some night shots. You're looking at Moonlight Mode here, which is 0.5 lumens. It's going to last forever. You can check out the run times on their website. Of course, it is going to vary because it is a variable light, and then it's also going to vary depending on which battery you have or which configuration you have it set up for. Right now I have it in the 18650 mode. So this is our Moonlight Mode. We can turn the light off and then back on again. Here we have the high. It's going to memorize the mode that you had it in, which is really cool, especially since it has that infinite brightness. So we are on 650 lumens, and if I hold the button down, it's going to cycle back down to its low mode, which is 12 lumens, and then we'll get 3 flashes. So there we are at low. So if we were to turn the light off and turn the light back on, it's going to come back to that low mode, and then of course we can hold it down again and it will cycle us back up into our high, which is 650 lumens. You can see the pattern on the wall here, and we can go ahead and cycle it back down. You can see that the beam stays fairly decent throughout the whole range of lighting levels. Maybe a slight hot spot there in the center, but certainly nothing you can see on the camera. So walking around here, I just have the light on high, which is not something I would generally have the light on unless I was searching in the woods for something. We can dial it all the way back down to the low, which is 12 lumens, and that would give me plenty of light for around camp tasks, around the home. Plenty of light there. And then if we want it, we can double click, and that's going to throw us into our 1100 lumens. We can walk over to the other side of the field here. You can see that it lights up that sign way down there to the left. Doesn't quite hit the trees. Hits the trees maybe a little bit, but it's got a pretty medium beam, not too floody, and not a very tight hotspot either. I think it's pretty much perfect for this size lights. Really what I like to see in just a general use light that you would, use daily or put in a kit. There's other lights out there that have more specific tasks with a tighter beam or a floodier beam, but this one has a great mix of both. Charging the light is really straightforward. You just plug in your micro USB. You're going to get a red LED indicator, which will turn green once the battery is fully charged. So then, as I said before, the beauty is that you can charge all your different battery types. We can pop off the center tube here. Now one thing that I noticed is that it doesn't give you a reduction tube. So when you pop like a 16340 in there, it does fit, but it wiggles around a little bit. So although it does work, not only the light works when we put the battery in, and then of course when we plug our charger in, it's charging it as well, but you do get some rattle in there. So would have been nice if they included a reduction tube there that they do with some of their larger lights, especially when you get to the the real thin batteries like your RCR 123s. Again, it has no problem charging it, it has no problem operating, but again you do get some wiggle in the light there. So something for them to definitely consider, including a reduction tube there for the smaller batteries. One other thing I thought was interesting is that the light will work without a battery even being inserted. So we have no battery in there. It is plugged in to my battery bank, and the light will work. You don't get all the modes. Doesn't look like you get the turbo or the strobe. Let's see if it'll dim. Nope, it won't even dim. It's just a constant output there, but it does work without a battery even being on the inside, as long as you're plugged into a battery bank. Another thing I noticed was even with the 18650 in there, you do get some rattle. So not a big fan of the light rattling. They need to include a reduction tube for, it seems like, not only the smaller batteries but the 18650s as well, although the light does have no problem working. You shake it, of course I dropped it a bunch of times, and it doesn't affect the usability of the light, just a mild annoyance there that it does rattle. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today, taking a look at the Neutron 2C. As you can see, it's a very versatile flashlight. It can take all different types of batteries. It runs all those different voltages. So not only is that cool that you can use the different batteries in them, but it also functions as a charger for all those different batteries. So if you have CR123s in your kit, you can recharge those using the flashlight. If you have 18650s or 16340s, you can recharge those using the charging capability of the flashlight. So maybe something that you didn't think of that certainly is a power-packed feature of this light. So I'm gonna leave a link below to ThruNite's website, as well as a link to Amazon where you guys can pick one of these up for yourself. Anything you do purchase through my Amazon store does help support the channel. If you guys want to follow me on my social media, you can do so by clicking on any one of the links down in the description. You can share this video to your friends and family on your social media. And as always, if you haven't done so, please click subscribe. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.